This buffalo chicken, I can't waste it.
Hey NAIA football fans, Corey Thorpe here with John Cooper. He's back.
What's up, guys?
Man, what a great week of NAIA football that we had.
We got a lot of teams to talk about.
We got a ton of teams to talk about. Before we do that, we got to talk about our friends over at AdCraft, your custom apparel, merch, and uniform experts. They printed this shirt just like they did.
I got one, at home.
Got our logo on the back of it. It looks beautiful. If you want great gear, if you want fundraising, if you want custom apparel, if you want custom merch with your company's logo, with your team's logo on it, if you want them to outfit your uniforms for your team, they've got it. Contact them, adcraftusa.com. Thanks to AdCraft USA for sponsoring what we do here. We appreciate them so much. Let's get to the week that was. First off, Lindsey Wilson Kaiser. A little bit underwhelming from what we thought, but Lindsey Wilson comes away with a 34-2 victory.
Yeah, it just seems like Lindsey Wilson is trying to take just that role we've seen throughout NAIA that's been kind of cyclical. With St. Francis and Morningside having those 2-year runs, where the second year was even better than the first. It seems like they're capitalizing, especially on the COVID super seniors.
Absolutely. I mean, Kaiser was 4 of 15 on third down, 0 of 4 on fourth down. That's how you do it, is getting Kaiser off the field, not letting them make those drives. 17 of 34 passing with 3 picks. We'll talk about that a little later on who picked those 3 balls.
I'll say that for Lindsey Wilson, just the advantage they have, and you don't get this much in the NAIA where a coach has been there for a decade long. I mean, it's just a revolving door. I mean, you have your few, but not that many. But with Coach Oliver, he's seen a lot of spread attacks where they're trying to attack the perimeter with the screens like Kaiser. He's already saw it last year. He saw it with the 2013-14 Faulkner teams. He's seen it through Southeastern. The guy just has experience just stopping those type of offenses.
He really does. Credit to the entire coaching staff there. Grandview takes care of number 11 Baker, 31-14.
I would say this was one of the bigger shockers of the day. And for a while there, you got the box score picked up, Corey. When did Baker even score their first points? It had to have been deep in that game.
It was 8:43 in the fourth quarter.
Right.
We talk about Grandview's defense, and it's no joke. We talk about J.D. Woods being really good for Baker. 9 attempts, 29 yards.
Yeah, and what about Johnny Sullivan for Grandview, man?
16 to 25 with 4 touchdown passes.
Found the end zone.
Had himself a day. I mean, it's really good. I mean, when you've got targets like Anthony Turner and Bennett Spry, it's not hard.
Corey, the next game we're about to talk about, Receiving Boats Culver Stockton, who really played the team we just talked about just before Baker really well.
Mm-hmm.
Going against that Evangel team that's going to challenge in their division. I was really proud of this one. I picked the upset on our Patreon, which you guys can subscribe to for $1 a month to get my predictions.
Absolutely. 38-35 was a really great game. I was watching this one as I was walking into the stadium for the Florida State game.
Right.
Unfortunately for me, I had to watch a worse game in person than I was on my phone. But Evangel just had, even though they scored 4 rushing touchdowns, they had the interception. And they had a fumble there that really it had 2 fumbles that cost them.
And what's crazy about Culver Stockton is usually you're talking about them through the air, but they were pretty well balanced, I thought.
Jordan Grant leads the NAIA in rushing yards.
Yeah.
Had 145.
It's a different Culver Stockton team that we've talked about preseason.
Jace Orndorff is doing really nice things over there. Hey. You know my thoughts about Culver Stockton.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the upset of the week.
You had Peru State going 45-21 against the Benedictine Ravens. The new era of Benedictine's getting to a shaky start, kind of.
I mean, you have a week against Grandview. That's not gonna kill you. And with a new coach, you're gonna have shaky weeks like this. That's just gonna happen. But you gotta do better. 2 picks and a fumble for them. they'll get it turned around.
It's weird seeing Benedictine in that offense. The shout out to Peru State. Their defense was really impressive.
Absolutely was. 2 picks of Garrett Kettle. They're limited him to 13 of 24, just over 50%, and kept him contained on the ground. He's been a good dual threat for Benedictine, but not last week. We are still looking for our a company to put here. We would love to partner with anyone here that runs a good, clean company that we can promote with a good conscience here for our players of the week. Let's talk about them real quick. In a loss, Mid-American Nazarene quarterback Blake Atkins throws for almost 4 bills and 5 touchdowns. Just a great, even though William Penn won this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Just that's how you get it done there. And congratulations on the Statesmen for a quality win there.
And it was no low-scoring game. I
Yeah.
think it was 45-44.
Yeah.
Defensively, we have Lindsey Wilson, defensive back Robert Carter with 8 tackles and 3 picks of Kaiser quarterbacks in a pass breakup.
Kaiser loves to go through the air, but Robert Carter just was not having it.
Not to his side.
Locked down.
Not to his side. And that puts us right in the point for our top 25 media poll. Now,
get it. Explain to them how the media poll works.
Let's talk about this because the official NAIA poll came out today. Pretty good poll here. I don't have many gripes about it. Valley City State, Montana Western, Rocky Mountain, and Indiana Wesleyan joined that poll.
Absolutely.
College of Idaho, Dickinson State,
NAIA,
Benedictine.
it just feels like it's like a wide open year so far.
It does, and when we get to some of these votes, we'll talk about it. There's a 25-point spread between 2 spots, and there's like a 36-point spread between another 2 spots. There are definitely tiers to this thing. We have our 7 voters from across the nation that watch these games, that see the results, and then vote on them. We're very proud of the work that we get to do with this and providing another perspective and another methodology. We do it a little bit differently than the coaches.
Right.
That they have to work within their area ranking voters. We just go for it. And that produces sometimes a little bit different results. But I like what we've got. So let's get to the getting. We actually have 26 teams in our top 25 because we have a tie at number 25. St. Thomas, the Bobcats make their way into the top 25.
They absolutely clobbered Cumberland, Tennessee. They're making big steps. You predicted actually that St. Thomas would make a rise up in that division to maybe number 2. I think you're trending in the right direction.
Definitely are. And they get a chance to further prove themselves this week. They go and play St. Andrews, who Bethel of Tennessee was able to take care of last week. We'll see if St. Thomas can do the same. And at number 25, possibly the best 1 and 2 team in the nation, you have the Midland Warriors.
Absolutely. I don't believe in a thing called quality losses, but last week kind of made me a believer.
Yeah, I mean, taking Northwestern to
overtime.
Just a great game from Midland. They play Dakota Wesleyan, so we'll get some firsthand look at how good Midland is. Our intern has a little bit of an inside track there on Dakota Wesleyan.
Right.
At number 24, Faulkner comes into the poll.
I'm a little disappointed my Eagles aren't ranked above some teams with some losses already. They put together 2 great weeks to me, so we'll see if that keeps going. Regardless, they're just having to keep trucking week to week and get better before the Reinhardt week comes up.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got Flomo coming up this week, so
Right.
that's a good opportunity for
Get
Faulkner
better.
to put up some style points. Number 23 is St. Xavier. St. Xavier, let's see, it rises up 1 spot to number 23 from number 24.
And their losses to a Division II school, Indianapolis.
Absolutely. They play at Siena Heights. That's going to be a good game to see where they are. And at number 21, College of Idaho.
Well, you got 22, Dickinson State.
Oh, I'm sorry. They say that people skip them.
Honestly, it's kind of crazy they're still in the top 25. Do I think they win the North still? Yes, them and Waldorf, either one. But going 0-2, really two tough opponents. Montana Western that hovers around the top area of the frontier. And then the Black Hills State. I kind of think they should have just been dropped for a week. But don't let it fool you. Dickinson State probably will run the table.
From here on out. I mean, though, honestly, if you are Waldorf or Valley City State, you're kind of licking your chops at this
Absolutely.
point.
You're seeing a vulnerable team.
You want to see what you've got. Number 21, College of Idaho, has a bye week last week. They stay roughly the same. They are going to play versus Southern Oregon.
That should be a great game.
That should be a good
Southern
good
Oregon looks good this year.
At number 20, we have Roosevelt, who drops back spot after another bye week.
Yeah, the mid-states are getting off to a slow start just playing. But, Roosevelt definitely deserves that ranking. 19, Indiana Wesleyan getting a win over an FCS team.
Yeah, and then getting a win last week over, let's see, who did they play? Trinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just that was a forfeit win. But
Right.
I'm looking forward to both of these teams. Roosevelt and Indiana Wesleyan play top 10 opponents this week.
Coming up, yeah.
We'll get to see both of them.
Indiana Wesleyan is still waiting for that breakout program win in the mid-states.
They might get it. Who knows? Avila at number 18. People say we're sleeping on Avila. I don't know about that. They get a big win over Ottawa.
Say Ottawa definitely has my respect.
Absolutely. At number 17, Ottawa of Arizona.
Doing it through the air.
Absolutely. Look, that defense versus Segu was keeping them in check, and Austin McCullough through the air was definitely a sight to behold. It was good to watch them play.
Right, absolutely. Number 16, we have the Dork Defenders. I think Dork's living on last year's success right now. I know they got to win, but they got to pick it up because there's a chance they could be sliding back from top 3 to top 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they don't beat Morningside or Northwestern, one of those.
Yep, they got to get it together and really beat one of those top 2 teams. At number 14, we do have a tie. Kansas Wesleyan slides up a little bit after a 31-7 win over Sterling. They also have a top 10 matchup coming up.
With Bethel, right?
Yep, they do. I'm really looking forward.
That might decide the conference for the KCAC.
It's likely to. Eastern Oregon at number 14, they had a bye last week. They play at Receiving Votes Carroll.
Right. And 13, St. Francis, they have not started the season yet. I think they start this week.
Yes, against Judson.
Yep, and then 12, we have the Baker Wildcats that just took a big loss. I'm surprised. In our poll last week, they were number 7. I'm surprised they only dropped 5 spots. People are getting fooled, I believe, with the 31-14 score. Those 14 points were in garbage time. The reality, it was a shutout.
Yeah, but I still think Baker's got a good squad. And really, take a look at that 79 there and look at the difference between Baker and Georgetown underneath them.
You want to get in that top 11. I think that's where a lot of respect comes in for our top 11.
Heck, top 10, because you've got 94 points there for Georgetown. You've got 115 for Bethel.
Absolutely.
We've got this giant
Start
gap.
getting a little closer. Bethel, the defending champs of the KCAC, who got the playoff bid last year, hitting on all cylinders for their mesh point offense. Kansas Wesleyan coming soon. Number 9,
you got Kaiser. You got to bounce back if you're Kaiser. You got to bye a week. You get a week to heal. You got to bounce back and beat someone hard the week after.
That's right. Tied for 7 is Olivet Nazarene and Marion. Marion is 1-1, but they are 1-0 in NAIA play. I think the Tigers could be the best team in the mid-states on either division. I know I get laughed at for saying that, but that's okay. Number 6, we got the Concordia Cardinals, who has an impressive rushing attack. Like I said, the mid-states is getting slow.
Concordia did it through the air.
Yeah, okay.
They threw 3 or 4 touchdowns through the air. So I like seeing that development of the offense there for Concordia and what they're doing there. At number 5, we have Reinhardt here. I'm really impressed with Reinhardt.
They've had a really good 2 weeks. I know they have the loss to Kennesaw State. Guys, Kennesaw State even hung in for Georgia Tech for a little bit. Reinhardt was probably going to lose by that same margin if they played Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I mean, and you're talking about a Power 5 FBS team.
Yeah.
You know, yes, it is Georgia Tech, but, you know, still Power 5. Number 4, you've got Grandview. It's a good spot for them. They go to Mid-American Nazarene.
Outside of Lindsey Wilson, Grandview was definitely one of the more impressive teams.
Absolutely. Northwestern hangs in there at number 3, even after a close win.
Right. You know, and I think they deserve it. They've grinded teams out. You know, they still got Dork and Morningside on the schedule.
It's going to be a challenge. Number 2, the aforementioned Morningside, trouncing Doane. Poor Doane. They get done with Morningside. Now they got to go play Northwestern.
Right, absolutely. Number 1, Lindsey Wilson. There's no argument about it. But, Cory, before we move anywhere else, let's talk a little Texas Wesleyan because I think somebody's going to want to hear about them. You know, the season started. They beat the defending conference champs, Arizona Christian. And then they go beat a middle-of-the-road Oklahoma Panhandle State University team that's been, you know, solid for the past couple of years in certain areas. Next week, Texas Wesleyan, if you guys complain about not getting in our top 25, I guarantee you if you win this week, you're welcome to the top 15.
Absolutely, because you've got all
I
of
will
Arizona.
push with that with the other voters. If you beat OUAZ, you're in the top 15.
That's a good point. Texas Wesleyan will deserve to be in that top 25
absolutely.
After that. So let's then have a look at the week 3, what to watch for. Yeah, I know it says week 2 scoreboard. I just copied and pasted.
It's okay. Olivet Nazarene at Indiana Wesleyan. This could be the win Indiana Wesleyan is looking for as a program to get established in the mid-states there. I know it's not a Mid-East team, but that Olivet team is the cream of the crop right now in the West Division. You know, Bethel versus Kansas Wesleyan. We said, Cory, that this will probably decide the conference. I know Avila does not want to hear that, but I want to stick with that. I think it decides the conference.
It definitely does, and Bethel gets a chance to prove that they can hang with Kansas Wesleyan in a game that actually matters. Last year's loss to Kansas Wesleyan really didn't do much to them. They had already locked that playoff spot.
Right, absolutely. Then we have Concordia versus number 20 Roosevelt. That, you know, cross-division cross-divisional game. And, you know, I think Concordia heads over to Chicago, right?
No, that is in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
Yep, that's
huge for Concordia then.
Look, if you're a fan of smash mouth football, this is going to be the game for you. There's going to be a lot of running of the football. And the aforementioned Ottawa of Arizona versus receiving votes Texas Wesleyan. Texas Wesleyan comes in and defeats Arizona Christian. You defeat Ottawa of Arizona, and you're going to be the odds-on favorite to win the Sooner.
Absolutely. I know. I agree with that.
So before we go, we have some people to thank. We've got new people to thank. I want to not be able to read these names, John. I want it to be so small that I have to figure out how to scroll these names.
Well, I'm going to read them for you. I probably can't pronounce them all. But we got Ace Wellen, Cordell, Austin Steele, Joe D. Hodgland from Montgomery, Alabama. I know you're not from Montgomery, but you're in that area and your son plays for Faulkner. Jerry Quickle, the helmet master. Alex Garcia, Eric Wingert, Nathan, Bonnie Atkinson, Fred Christensen, Shirley Labella, Jeremy Valuable. You take awesome pictures. I know I botched the last name there. Tricia Prescott, Roger Meyer, our friend. Dylan Swears, David, Bob Boone, Cliff Crazel, Darren, Keith Liedman, Danielle Quinn, DSU Cone, we miss you, man. Sorry that, Dickinson lost, but we love you. Ian Sweeney, Blake Sintman, Keith, and Charlie Simmons.
All right. Man, I'm just looking forward to another great week. It's been a fun season, and there's been a lot of great football.
Absolutely.
that has been played. We've got a lot coming up, and I'll go ahead and throw it out there. I'm looking at our chat. If you've got any questions, now is the time to do it. We are able to take those here. We're just real thankful for the people that support us and make this happen, for our patrons, for AdCraft. Without those folks, we're not going to the national championship game.
No, you guys do amazing.
Absolutely. When people say that they appreciate our coverage, it's our supporters that make that happen.
Absolutely, guys. You've made a hobby turn into something that can really serve the community,
Absolutely.
our NAIA community.
And I'm here for it. So, if we have no questions here, for John Cooper, I'm Cory Thorpe, and we'll see you next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern.